Hi there, welcome back. It's UK here. Um, Interesting little topic I have, which came to mind the last few days. When I was a kid, um, we just moved house. I was about 8, 9 years old, and one of the neighbours gave me a huge collection of their son's old Marvel comics from like the 70s. And I already knew about D&D, had done for probably a year or two beforehand. Um, but in the back of every one of these comics was a page ad for Dungeons and Dragons. I can remember them quite clearly. They were, using like 3D dungeon pieces to make it like a dungeon or a cave layout. You had the painted miniatures, and a little bit of a blurb. Um, when I got older, and I used to be big into Transformers. I used to read the UK Transformers comics. The back page of every single issue was an ad for TSR UK advertising Dungeons and Dragons. Hit the 1990s, early 1990s, and you started to get games magazines. Um, and one of the things that I noticed was that ads for D&D disappeared. The only place you ever saw them now was in actual gaming magazines. So Dungeon and Dragon obviously used to promote D&D. You see some Magic the Gathering ads in there. Um, by this point, White Dwarf was now a catalogue purely for Games Workshop products um, and the like. And then slowly over the 90s, I suppose as the internet appeared and began to take over from gaming magazines, you lost any advertising. Role playing games and the like didn't get anything like that. Although I do remember vaguely Wizard of the Coast doing some humorous ads for Magic the Gathering, um, especially the one involving Bob from accounting. Look it up. Um, but even so, now where we've got D&D Fifth, we've got Pathfinder and Pathfinder Second, other games, and those are probably the two biggest role playing games these days. Magic the Gathering is still going strong. You've still got Warhammer 40k and what have you. But even then, to say that Warhammer 40k and now Age of Sigmar are, or have, or are getting in the case of AOS, magazines with a sprue I think it's every fortnight they release it. You read about your army, you build your army, and it's advertised on television. Games Workshop even did one with a load of the novels, although I don't know how long that lasted because it's bloody expensive. Um, but they did advertising on television to promote themselves, and now obviously they're doing or going to be doing a collaboration with Marvel Comics to do a Warhammer 40k comic series. But my point is, in all this, is for the most part, the hobby gaming industry is preaching to the converted. What we really want to see is them put their publishing um, side of things, their budget, into promoting the hobby out to everybody else. I can't speak for like American or European side of things, but we have like Sunday supplements in the newspapers or the Sunday papers anyway. Um, some of them are aimed at kids and teenagers. Some of them are aimed at adults. You know, why not have an ad in there? Um, you have a magazine over here. I think it's called FHM for Him Magazine, which is like aimed at young men. So it's sports and cars and things like that. Why not stick an ad in there? Why not do the same for whatever the equivalent of the ladies' magazines are? Um, that sounds slightly wrong there, doesn't it? But you know what I mean. Um, why don't we have some sort of advertising that isn't internet based and isn't already on websites or magazines that are aimed at people already playing. I think the hobby could do with. I mean, most people are aware of hobby gaming these days. Warhammer is fairly much a household name these days. D&D has always been a household name. But if we started getting companies to promote the game, the hobby, in all its facets, maybe we could get more players involved, more people involved. Um, yeah, that's, to be fair, just a bit of waffle from me. A thought that came to mind over the last few days while I've been at work. I wonder what your thoughts are. Do you think we need to advertise more? Or should I say publishers, the people behind, need to advertise more? And if so, how could they go about doing it so we can get more players involved in the hobby? Anyway, I look forward to your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Eric UK. Take care and good gaming.